Story time. I love the idea of learning new languages. So in 2017, when my brother was starting at the University of Tokyo, me, my mom, and my dad, we all took a trip to Japan to kind of like see him off. And I think that was also the time where I was just getting into anime, so I was like super, super pumped to actually learn Japanese. And of course, it's tough, I couldn't learn all of it, but I learned the hiragana script, which is one of the three alphabets that they write in, and a bunch of words, just basic Japanese stuff. And then when it actually came time for the trip, I remember reading every single signboard, like every single alphabet that I could identify on every single signboard in the country, and I would keep nudging my brother, asking if I was reading it right. But I didn't speak to a single local person there. Not one. In Japanese, I mean. Like, I was chicken. Then, 3 years later, I moved to the Netherlands for my own undergrad. And just before I moved, I took all the online courses to learn Dutch that my university recommended. And I even went over the board and printed out a list of the 1,000 most common Dutch words. And I think I was starting to string together very basic sentences in Dutch in my head before I moved there, which is quite a good level for somebody who's just starting uni. Like, that person would be on track to be fluent in Dutch by the end of their 3 years there, right? That's what you would assume, but not me. It was the middle of the pandemic, and for my first year there, I was basically confined to my dorm other than buying groceries and stuff. And I lived in a student accommodation where there were mostly only international students, so even if I was speaking to the people around me, it would be in English. And then by the time that things went back to normal and I actually started interacting with Dutch people on a daily basis, like physically going to uni, I was just way too comfortable speaking English while being in their country that I never made that conscious effort to switch to Dutch or try switching to Dutch. You guys see where this is going, right? It's a pattern. And just to back it up, I'll give you one more instance. My most recent disappointment was last year on my first solo backpacking trip to Portugal. It was my first solo trip, first trip of its kind, really. And I put in the effort. I learned a bit of Portuguese before I went there. I was excited about it, obviously. I didn't speak to a single local in Portuguese. I was too scared of sounding dumb, of embarrassing myself in front of strangers who would forget about the entire interaction after they met me. Logically, I had no reason, but I was chicken again. Every single time, I've literally had the best possible opportunity to practice my language skills. All three times, I was in literally a country full of native speakers, and every single time, I wasted it because I was scared of sounding dumb. And I get that it's a me problem. Like, it's literally a personality trait, and it's going to take a while to get over. But I also realize that there have to be so many other people like me who are also socially awkward, who are also trying to learn new languages, and who also struggle actually applying themselves in those languages because of being anxious and scared in social settings. And while I can't do much about the anxiety as a whole, I can do something about the language learning. So I'm building an app that acts like a conversation partner to get you fluent enough in whatever language you're learning that you feel comfortable speaking without the fear of sounding stupid. It's basically a bot that talks to you in your target language, and it also gives you real-time feedback on the things that you say so that you can learn from your mistakes instantly. It's a bot, so it's available 24/7 for you to practice literally whenever you like, and it bridges the gap between when Duolingo stops being helpful to the point where you can actually hold conversation in meaningful topics. So if you love the idea of learning new languages, maybe you've even tried a few, but you're terrified of applying yourself before you're at a comfortable level of fluency, follow me for updates because this app is literally exactly what you need. Also, we're going to have a demo of the app up soon where you can actually try out the conversation features for yourself before the app officially launches. So sign up to our email list if you want access to that.